I have about 3 hours now. I'm gonna try to crank out everything that I can from Signal Simulator. I just ate. So I expect gas a whole lot in this game. But yeah, 3 hours. I'm gonna try to do as much as I can in here.
Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the Countdown to Curiosity
Alrighty.
Landing NASA social event here at NASA's Jet Propulsion
Let's
Laboratory.
go.
Thank you for joining us. In addition to the people we have here, we are trying something new today. This is our first nationwide social. We have people at 6 other NASA centers around the nation joining us today who will interact with our panelists.
What are you?
We have with us today watching the Ames Research Center in Silicon Valley, California, Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland, Johnson Space Center in Houston, the Kennedy Space Center at Cape Canaveral, Florida, and the Langley Research Center in Virginia. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, we've got a great 2 hours planned for you. We're going to start off immediately. I want to introduce someone special here at JPL. He is not only a scientist, but also an engineer and also our leader. He is the JPL director, Dr. Charles Alachi.
Auto scan.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mars. Sorry, I mean JPL. We are very fortunate today. We have
Funny.
people at NASA who are going to be welcoming you. Charlie Bolden.
Said
and
funny
Beauregard.
Joe.
Charlie, who's physically not here, is going to go by via video. So if we can roll.
Oh. Bruh.
Welcome to the Mars Science Laboratory, NASA Social.
Power just shut
You have
off all of a
front row
sudden.
seat to history as NASA attempts to land Curiosity, the most sophisticated rover ever created on the surface of the Red Planet. It's a difficult mission and an important one. Give up its secrets.
Oh, this fucking
and it will
radio
pave
is
the
making
way
me
for
go off.
future human missions to Mars. This is also the
You have something to do about
we've held
that?
socials at multiple NASA centers simultaneously.
Fuck was that? Power just shut off. It ain't storming either. Never mind, it is. What they don't know is that I still got my light. That I can just turn that on. What is this? Oh.
Where you are. This NASA social isn't just about Curiosity and Mars. I'm particularly excited about it because it highlights the diverse work we do across the agency. Each center is unique and contributes to the agency in different ways, whether it's aeronautics research, astrophysics, earth science, planetary science, or human spaceflight. Each center plays a key role in our ongoing work to develop new technologies and reach new destinations like an asteroid and Mars. I hope you walk away from this experience knowing more about your space program and how it works to expand our knowledge and capabilities, explore new frontiers, and inspire the next generation of explorers. Together, we're reaching higher. Go Curiosity.
And now, in person, we have our Deputy Administrator, Lori Garber. So please
Damn,
join
that's
me
a
in
small
welcoming
number
her.
right there. Oh, another one. Oh. Oh.
Thank you so much, Charles. It is great to be here. As Veronica
flimmy as
said,
hell.
good morning and good afternoon. We know we're all
I wanna
across the
check out the
country
spore
to,
thing.
the entire NASA
Oh, wait a
family,
minute,
and
wait a
it
minute.
is quite a weekend.
Cool key. Okay. Fucking antenna 9?
That that is the goal, right? So you are going to hear from so many
Wait a
people,
minute, wait a minute.
today.
Let me reboot it. Let's see if rebooting it. Okay. I don't even need the help anymore. Well, sometimes I will, but with other stuff. Yeah. I might still need all the help. Server connection is okay. Okay. Sweet. Alright, no problems.
Dr. Alachi.
Anyways, I'm
over
going to
3
check
years
out
ago.
the spore hole.
Phase of this decathlon, but that sprint, of course, we know has a few more challenges. It's like folks are going to be putting a lot of obstacles in the end of the sprint here as we watch our exciting finish. But why do we go? Why do we go? Why do we spend
Run it over!
important focus of the U.S. space program on going to Mars? And for me, it's
I honestly have no idea what this thing is. I honestly don't know.
time, and we don't do that often enough. How many of us have ever thought, how did life begin? Where else? Who ever thought that we would be able to send a mission to Mars of this size and scope
Oh,
in this
drift.
challenging time in the world
Drift.
and in the United States? This is something that NASA is doing on behalf not just of the American people who fund NASA, but on behalf of the world and on behalf of humanity. So go for all to find out how life began, where there are. It's a wet planet, and what other questions that are unknown that we can answer. So you are going to hear the difficulty of this mission. We know that we do things because they're hard. That was a statement by an earlier politician that challenged us to go to the moon. And that is, of course, what NASA continues to do.
When is this
Missions
thing
drive
actually
our
going to get data?
technology. Missions drive what it is that we advance in this nation so that we can out-innovate the rest of the world. NASA's mission, our vision, is to reach for new heights and reveal the unknown so that what we do and learn will benefit all humankind. So what better mission to reach for new heights and to reveal the unknown, but again, not just because we can, but to benefit all humanity. The benefits that we get from driving this human spirit as well as the human technology is something that I think the whole world will be looking to on Sunday night. And you have right here in this room a front row seat, but because of technology, all of us will watch together, perhaps holding our breath. And
What time is it?
so
Oh, it's
I
one.
urge you to
It's
just
just
think about
one.
the bigger picture as you're
Damn.
reporting on this mission and watching this mission, maybe talking to your families and your friends about this mission, and remember what a unique time it is to live when we are able to do things like this on behalf of humankind.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I can do. Fuck, I can go to like supreme lockdown mode.
And really the support that they have provided the team, JPL, or the NASA centers who have really worked on this mission. Now, on Sunday evening, I would suggest people on the West Coast at 9:15 p.m. you go out and you look toward the west, and you are going to see Saturn, and next to it you will see Mars. And just think to yourself that we have a car-sized rover which is heading toward that planet and it's going to be landing on it about an hour later. And to really show you
Car
what
with a
NASA is
camera.
doing, at 9:16, the space station will be rising.
Really hard in
His accent just morphed into his voice. It's that UFO just be going around and around and around.
will be the 40th. Only about 40% of them are successful, and of the ones that we actually attempt to land on the surface.
I'm bored right now. Just show me a problem. Show me a problem. Oh, shit. The fucking inside of my upper thighs hurt for some reason.
We enjoy it, but
What's the weather?
be nervous with
What's
us.
the weather
It's
like?
part of the message.
Still
in terms
pretty
of
windy.
What you're going to be seeing and hearing today, I'm not going to get into all the details
shit.
of these. You're going to get
That's
a
right.
full dose throughout the rest of the day. But they're
I want to drive. I want to drive this. I'm gonna go back out to the rock where we found the shoe at. Nothing. Damn. Dude, I think we should just be looking forward to boredom. Yeah. I mean, hell, the only excitement nowadays is like the power outages and the alien that shows up on the screen every once in a while.
an important distinction. We're not going to look for life, but we're going to show that we know that there's an ancient water history. We know that the water is still there in some cases. It's frozen water ice. We want to try to understand, in addition to the water, are there other environmental factors that could have allowed life to evolve on Mars if it ever got started? If the answer to that, as identified by Curiosity, turns out to be yes, then the next missions that are down the road will say, okay, now that we know the water's there, we know the environment is there, now let's actually look for signs of life. And that will be the future of Mars exploration. And you're going to hear a lot about that this
No
afternoon.
data. None.
Let me give you a little preview about what you're going to hear on Sunday.
No data. No data. No data. No fun.
There's a very interesting configuration that is going to be used to send the signals from the Curiosity spacecraft back to Earth. We actually have 4 independent pathways that are being utilized. We have a set of orbiters in orbit around Mars right now. We have Odyssey, which got there in 2001. We have the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter for 2005, and we have the European Mars Express mission, which arrived in the year in 2003.
What's
They're
the
all in
time?
orbit right now. We're going to be using each of those as a communications
No way.
relay satellite to get all the
No,
information back during entry, descent, and landing. In addition to that, there's a separate pathway direct to Earth from the
It's
spacecraft.
3:33. Oh shit.
What's interesting though is it turns out that no one of those
Shit, I've been
assets
reading the
is
army
actually able
time
to
wrong.
provide complete communications all the way through the process.
Whenever
So
I
constantly sort of
see
switching between
like
them for different parts of the entry, design, landing
16 something
process.
something, I think
And
it's
so
like
you're going to see
3.
different things happening as
No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That's the only. I only do stuff whenever my mind is
we will have
engaged
confirmation that
in
they're down, we are
one
safe,
thing and
stable
one
on the
thing
surface of
only.
Mars, and you'll see the entire place erupt and cheer and everything else.
Whenever it's just like same old,
It is
same old,
also- and you know, that, everything, all the compounds,
then
you'll get that in.
I get less
Only about 40%
of a move to actually think of or say something else.
But there's a third stage, and this is just to sort of set expectations so you guys understand about it. We can have a very quick, very good, basically the answer will be
Muscular.
very clearly white, very clearly
Very
black, but there's also a bunch of shades of gray in between. Not quite
Bruh.
50, but maybe 10.
I won't take it.
Be up to
I
3
won't
days
take it.
where we have a rover safe on the surface,
I
but
want to
we
be
actually
curious.
don't know it
It's
yet.
probably
And so there'll be sort of communications blackout for a little while. The inverse
that
is also true.
screen
We
and
also
that
could
screen
have a
are
bad day
connected.
and not actually be able to confirm it for up to 3 days.
I'm still not messing
So,
with
in
that.
terms of the expectations for Sunday evening and what you'll see and what you will be able to actually really know, like I said, there's the definitive white, the definitive black answer, and then the 10 shades of gray in
Database.
between. We don't know, we won't know until Sunday night exactly
signals,
which one we're going to
random
get. But
signals.
this is, again, just to sort of let you guys know what's coming.
Story
The last piece I
signals,
want to tell you
event
about is,
signals,
once we're down safe on the surface, what happens after landing?
play.
This again is the case, as Laurie sort of implied, that
There is no
this is a little
data.
bit of a marathon, not a sprint, in terms of how this mission is going to operate.
No more.
Unlike prior missions where we're getting
I'm
a lot
just
of imagery
gonna
back
play
immediately after landing and the first day after, this is one where we're actually going to be checking out the rover for a number of days. The images that we'll get back will be full, amazing images, but they're going to be at a more sedate pace. The lifetime of this mission, unlike prior ones where Spirit and Opportunity, for example, were designed for 90-day missions, they have gone on well beyond that, but the primary mission was only 3 months. This rover has a primary mission of 2 years. The expectation is that the science results and the engineering results will come back at a
I didn't even get
They'll
hit
be
by
more
that.
rich,
Fuck it.
more complete, but they'll be paced
yeah.
differently. And so the thing we want to make sure that people understand is it may take a couple of days before that first real high-resolution images comes back, before the video of the landing process actually comes back to the atmosphere. And just be prepared for that. It may take a couple of weeks before the real high-resolution panoramas come back. It may be a few months before we drive to the science
so
target
then
of
can I
highest
move
level of
around?
interest. But once we get there,
No.
you're going to see results like you've never seen anything before. So again, my job is to sort of introduce you to what you're going to be hearing for the rest of the day, what you're going to be seeing this weekend, and what you're going to be seeing out through the rest of the mission as it progresses. Have a great time. Please feel free to get in touch with any of us afterwards and ask questions.
Oh
and get
no!
as much
Wait!
information
Wait!
as
Wait!
we
Wait!
can.
Wait! Wait! Wait!
Thank you.
Wait! Okay. Go left.
We're going to go to our
That
panels where we're going
much.
to take a lot of
Execute.
questions, not only from here in the room, but also from all the other NASA centers. But right now, I've got a very special guest to introduce. If you're curious about how the name Curiosity was chosen, some of you may know, some of you may not know that it was an
all the
essay
way.
contest for students to write, to propose a name and write an essay for why that name should be chosen. And with us today, we have the winning student, Clara Ma. Come on up, Clara. And
Okay.
Clara was
That's
the person who
good. That
submitted the
is
name
good.
Curiosity. And this was actually a few
go
years ago, and you were a little
forward that
smaller than I
much.
remember. So, Claire, I'm going to ask you to read your winning essay so everyone can hear how beautiful that was. And then we'll take a couple questions here in the room.
I wrote this when I was 11.
Computer at home, either on a laptop or your PC, your Mac, whatever, any reasonably modern computer. And we've been live now for just under 2 years. We've done many, many missions. We were live with Stardust
go
Next, with Epoxy, with Grail, with
left.
Messenger, things like that. But for Curiosity, thanks to some
Just
amazing help
that
from the
much.
navigation and engineering teams, we've had some amazing trajectory data they've given us. It's a simulation of exactly what Curiosity is going to be doing between now and 10:31 on Sunday evening. And what we're looking at right now on the screen, if we can go to the live video, is a live view of where Curiosity should be right now. As Stephanie mentioned earlier on this morning, we've just crossed the 500,000 mile mark to Mars. In about an hour or so, Mars
that
will appear
much.
exactly the same size to
Oh, now we
Curiosity
got
as the full
something
moon
going
appears
on.
to you on the Earth. We are getting
Okay.
awfully close. Mars is getting big in the window. And this is a real-time
Oh,
3D tool. This
go
isn't just a video you can
forward.
drag around. It's, this is much like showing you
much.
everything that Curiosity does.
I'm gonna
in
log
the video
out,
you'll have
I'm
seen.
gonna
You're the
disconnect.
camera person. You can stop, go backwards, forwards, inside out.
And I'm gonna just watch this thing move. Okay. And spore thing is all the way over there. Crap. I need to go on a straight path, so that way it doesn't end up all the way out there and makes like the trip even longer.
And there goes the heat shield. I'm now going to pause the action and stop. And now we can have a look around. Let's go and look at the heat shield. Here it is. Some of the engineering panel will be telling you all about the heat shield. Sure, you can see the Medley suite of instruments on the
Deactivate
inside of the heat
command.
shield.
Go
Let's go back
left.
to the rover. It's right there.
Execute.
And then behind us, you can see the Earth, and you can see Mars Express. This doesn't live in isolation. This lives inside a simulation of the entire
Left.
solar system. And so there's
Execute.
Mars Express, which will be listening to Curiosity during landing. There's Mars Odyssey, that will be hopefully giving us this real-time telemetry on the way down the hill. And here's the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter.
Alrighty.
About this time, we hope it's going to be taking a picture of it.
Let's see where it's facing at now. Dead ahead. That's good enough right there.
Alright, this is my most terrifying moment, I think. The free fall as we drop out of the back shell. I'm not going to play it all the way to the end. I don't want to spoil a surprise for you. It is very, very exciting.
Rover.
But everything I've done
Go
here, you can do at home
forward
on your computer.
only
You can go
that
to
much.
eyes.nasa.gov. And because Isaac Newton tends to do most of the driving,
Alright.
we know the laws of physics very well, we understand the
Scan.
spacecraft very well, we understand
Gotta
Mars very
find
well.
that signal.
Things should actually happen pretty much as you see them here. They may differ by a
My
few tenths of
urn
seconds either way, but
got
we've actually been
launched
tracking this
down
thing
into
during one of our technical
space.
rehearsals a few weeks ago, and the way this tracks
I've been
reality
trying
is
to find it
absolutely
ever
astonishing.
since
So
then.
give it a try at home, eyes.nasa.gov, and you can ride all the way with Curiosity right to the surface of Mars. And follow us on @NASA_eyes. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks so much, Doug.
Welcome to San Andreas, CJ from Grove Street, Atlanta.
My name is Stephanie Smith. I'm a social media specialist here at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. It is my honor to introduce our Curiosity Science panel. Now, for any mission, the science goals dictate the instrument payload. So, our panelists today are going to tell us, why is Curiosity a robot chemist, toting everything from cameras to a geology lab to a...
Can't stop me. Ooh. This one. Oh, that is bad. That is bad. That is really bad. Oh no! Wait! There we go. We can just push it around. That makes it even more easier. I like that. I like that. They thought I was Rick Boy back in elementary. moving something absolutely massive. I'm gonna go to bed now.
Be part of this big international mission. As you know, the primary goal of Curiosity is to understand the habitability of Mars, whether Mars could have ever supported life. And we've spent 5 years.
Miss a diarrhea getting real bad. Okay. I gotta point out something here. Gonna see something like go across the sky. Yeah, right there. Barely saw it that time. Son of a bitch.
Targeted that early time period of Mars before it became the kind of dry and more barren planet it is today. And then we looked in detail.
Alrighty.
Gale Crater was really kind of discovered in its scientific sense by my panelist here,
Rover.
Ken Edgett, and his colleagues at Malin
let's
Space
go
Science Systems.
left.
They used the Mars Global Surveyor's camera
That much.
to look at Gale Crater and find that it has this really interesting mountain inside of it.
Let's go.
It's a 3-mile-high mountain.
About
Yeah,
100.
it's meaty. But
Execute.
more special than just having a mountain, a lot of craters have mountains in them, at least these central peaks that form with the crater. This mountain is made of layered rock, and the layered rock, yeah, exactly. The layered rock is
this is like my third day playing this game, and so far I've basically found out more than the basics. Gotta make sure them aliens ain't messing with my shit. Thought it's supposed to be 60, can only take too many gigabits. Last time I tried to download an RTX engine on the Wii, damn bitch fucking melted motherfucking PCU.
allows us to believe
I could cook Taco Bell with that. Where's a UFO way? Where is it? Man, look at him go. Look at that boy go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Oh, by the way, that wasn't me being insane. That was actually me making a legitimate thing right there. The rover, the last rover on Mars, Discovery I think it was called, literally saying happy birthday to itself. And it was the one that died on Mars. I can go through. And we got it going all the way out over there. The fart pile. I gotta control that rover. It's supposed to be 60 in here.
Multi-Center Social. It's time for your questions. We'll be taking them from here in the house, as well as at the 6 other
The
NASA
house?
centers who are connected with us.
Alright, go ahead and
So
deactivate that.
those at Ames,
Go
Goddard, Glenn,
left.
JSC, KSC, and Langley, let your hosts know that you have a question, and they'll let us know here at JPL.
Left,
First, we'll start with a
execute.
couple questions in the house, and then we'll go to the audio bridge. So, if you're in the house and you have a question, raise your hand and wait for the microphone to come to you. Who's got a burning
Left.
science question? There we go.
Left.
Is there things you're hoping to learn?
I hope
first?
that
What
knock
are you
was
planning
from
to
the
look
radio.
at first, or is this something that's just
All
going
right,
to develop as
now
you find information as you go? I hope that
Go
made sense.
for
Sure,
double
I'll take one part of it,
time.
which is maybe the more operational
Oh, I
point
can
of view,
click
and
on
then
how many
on it
times
maybe
it
on the
can
scientific.
turn left,
It
right,
is
up
true
and down,
that
all that
this
crap.
is the most complex spacecraft
sweet.
that JPL has ever built.
We
and
found
one
that
of the more complex
Smurf
that
ball
NASA's ever
yet?
built. And so we're going to take
Found my
our sweet
herb,
time,
little boy.
learning how to use this thing on the
I
surface of
need
Mars.
that herb.
We want to do things carefully because this is at least a 2-year mission, maybe
That
10
ain't
to
scary,
11.
nor is it funny.
And we want to not screw up, really. So
It's really doing
so
nothing.
the first,
I
few
know
days
you're
after
still
landing
alive in
are
there.
really dedicated.
I'm just gonna keep you in there anyways.
Pictures, right
Happy
away to
birthday
satisfy
to
all
you. Happy birthday to you.
either right
Happy birthday to me. Not just like Chuck E. Cheese pea. Oh, there it is. Wait, what I got here? Okay, I got 3 lunch bag. 2, 4, 6, 8 can of paint. Oh no. 4, 3. I got 7 lunch bag, 8 can of paint, and many box. Many fucking box. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. And fuck you, George, your wife's a whore. A hidden law of Discovery 4. Okay. Now we gotta set just right. Now all we gotta do is wait. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, where to go? I hate that teleport piece of shit fucking UFO. Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? Use the bitch, you know that, right? Oh, I thought that was spaceship for a second. Dude, those rotors are moving very slow to keep the helicopter in the air. Ugh. It don't really matter. I got my Gandhi arms.
When I'm not busy with other things. It's really
Crazy
amazing.
fucking dark for some
What
reason.
we might see when we land just right away is just going to blow our minds, I think. So.
All right, we have
You know
a
what?
question on the line from Houston.
I literally have
from the Johnson
2.5
Space
hours
Center.
left.
So, Johnson, go ahead with your question.
I am officially going to pull an overnighter in the
Gloria
street.
Lloyd, and I wanted to thank NASA for giving us this opportunity. And I also wanted to ask,
At least I'm glad
what
that's
mechanisms
moving
does
somewhat.
Curiosity have in place if it lands upside down or on its side, or it's going to be traveling through a mountainous area? What if it flips over? What have you planned for that?
Good questions, Gloria. Now, we don't really want to land upside down or on the side.
Put it down.
The honest answer is there are certain things that we
Put
all
that,
worry about
put it,
that can go
put,
wrong in landing.
put this.
Hopefully not those particular ones. But this is a really risky thing, and there's some things the rover simply can't recover from.
I literally
and that
have
would
it
include landing on
go
something
forward
that prevents the rover
twice.
moving after it lands, or
And I can
recovering
see
from
that
how
it's
it
like
landed.
3/4 of the way there
Now,
now.
once we are moving those successfully, we
I
have a
expect to
lot of
put in
ways of
that
making sure
same
we don't
command
get trapped in
more
the
than
soil
just
or
once.
get stuck. The rover is very careful.
I just...
It's constantly reading.
What about my rover, huh? What about mine? Mine's special. It's gonna hunt for alien spores now. You'll see it sometime soon. Where'd that little RC car at? There it is. There it is. The human really loves his machine. I want to see me. Ooh. Oh. I hope all I gotta do is just go out there, pick up a sample, and then that's it. All I have to do then is just turn it back around and I can go straight back. At least I finally figured out how to use it. So those motherfuckers don't fuck with it. It should be at the perfect distance to where I can see it from on top of the roof.
Our next question waiting on the Space Flight Center.
Yes, I'm talking about you, you cocksuckers. You motherfuckers with the... Okay, this is a little bit... You motherfuckers with the damn Tony Hawk face. I don't even know what that's there for. And I touched my rover. I'm watching you. Oh. Where did they go? Where did they go? Where did they go?
So there really is no one thing that is more exciting than any other because we've already identified many structures that are suggestive of processes that we've observed on Earth that clue us in to processes that we hypothesize could be happening on Mars. So as soon as we get down on any of these and make a confirming measurement, we'll be certainly going, woohoo!
I think the most difficult thing really is going to be that there's so
I'm
much
gonna press
cool stuff to
deactivate.
look at where we land that
Forward,
we'll never
forward,
go to the mountain.
forward,
We'll be like,
forward.
whoa, you know.
Yes.
That's what I'm worried about.
Now execute.
What's
Oh,
really
that's
cool about,
plenty.
having a
That
flagship
is
mission like
plenty
this
right
that's meant
there.
to last 2
Alright.
years and has 10 science
Aliens
instruments on
better
it,
not fuck with my
is that there's
shit,
going to be a
man.
ton of woohoo moments. You know, this mission isn't about landing and then doing things as fast as you can.
I
and
did
it's
all
over,
that stuff in
which a
this
lot of our
11-12
previous
right
missions
now.
have had to
Damn.
be because that's
Damn. Okay. Server connection error? Oh shit. Reboot. The fuck?
That was out of focus. Molly would be
Antenna 03 need help.
Another thing that's sort of interesting is that
Okay.
unlike
One question though.
and Phoenix as well, our two science cameras are not.
That's
matched.
8.
They're not the same.
So that
size left and right.
means, wait a
One is
minute.
actually,
8,
is a 100 millimeter lens,
7, 6,
So,
5,
we've chosen to
4.
have sort of a telephoto lens as an
No, 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 no. We ain't gonna do it like that. We ain't gonna do it like that.
at high resolution, then
We'll be smart about it.
also, I think one of the cool things that Mail and Space Science has done with these
Okay.
cameras, all the science cameras can take video.
So that means
frames a
that
second.
those over there,
It's not, movie
that
quality video,
is
but
where
it's gonna be
antenna
great
3
if you
is.
move on the surface, clouds, sand on the ground,
And it's raining.
and of course that mild descent to the surface as I think about a 5 frame per second movie.
Can't wait for that movie.
Uno.
We'll go to one more question here in the house JPL, and then we'll go to Glenn next.
So now be those traces right up there.
And how much are you controlling manually back from Earth?
Yeah, it's a mix. So, like Spirit and Opportunity, we live on
Yeah.
for the first 90 seconds.
Bruh. I'm becoming muy experto. This game. Alrighty. Looky there. I did it. I did it, and it wasn't as difficult as I could have made it.
And that allows us then to
Alien head, what do you say?
at night as the sun sets on Mars till 10 a.m. the next
You
morning.
don't know. He's been drunk since fucking last night. I don't know.
Getting the next series of commands. So we kind of stay in sync with
Where's the rover at right now?
that allows us to every day respond very quickly to what's happening the day before.
Oil.
That 5 or 6 hours of new commands to the rover.
The rover has thousands of brains.
Oh shit! I'm drifting.
And one exception to how we operate with respect to day and night is the SAM instrument likes to be nice and cold because that makes it more sensitive. So when the rover goes to sleep, SAM wakes up and gets its job done, and all of the experiments we do are scripted. So we carry out an entire experiment. Open this valve, suck in this air, release some carrier gas, heat up the sample, move your cup over.
Just gonna try to square up.
Choreographed, and we send up one script
And
at a
hopefully
time.
we
And every
won't
time we
have
perform
much
that
to
experiment, we respond in
move.
real time to the
Whatever.
market conditions, so that if we know the temperature
We
is this
shouldn't,
much, we
really.
change our parameters
I
a little
shouldn't.
bit. If we know it's that much, we change them again. So it's really amazing to actually sit in our high
I like
power
that
test
thing.
bed and watch a whole experiment execute, maybe 5 or 6 hours worth. It's unbelievable.
Bong.
Great. Now we're gonna go back to the
Bonk. 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 Bonk.
Thanks, Stephanie. Hi, my name is Kat Robinson, and first of all, I just want to say thank you for...
Thanks for creating Scott Robinson, and I'm here to tell you that colon cancer is a joke. Don't believe it.
a little bit about how collaboration has helped either make the MSL mission either easier or more complicated. Thank you.
Of course, it made it easier.
He's the one that got to do all the travel to Moscow.
Right.
Let's do another
Right, yeah, I guess
scanning.
that was hard. The first trip is awesome. The 5th trip is less exciting. No, but really, this has been okay. So there's the science team aspect. Working with 400 scientists from around the world has been just an experience I'll never trade. You know, to work with colleagues in Moscow and Spain and Russia and Canada.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I said Russia. Moscow.
We got
Russia,
ourselves
Spain,
another,
Canada, France,
Mars.
Germany, and others as well. But those are our big partners.
Foe.
And then in terms
This
of the
one's
engineering
very
of the rover,
red.
several NASA centers contributed. I won't even try to name them because I'll leave somebody out. And then parts of the rover spacecraft, actually the cruise stage that flies the spacecraft to Mars, and the shell, the capsule, the aeroshell that the rover is in currently, those are both made at Lockheed Martin. So we collaborate with a lot of other institutions, NASA institutions, as well as commercial companies. And I think the last I heard was over 7,000 people contributed in almost like working full time to make this mission a success.
There are parts all the way down to the tiniest
Are you shitting me?
tiniest solders and stuff that people scattered all around the country and the world contributed. Yesterday I learned that
That
CCD,
was
the detector
big
that
fuck
does
you.
the color imaging inside my camera might actually have spent time in the same building my grandfather used to work in.
Okay.
4 decades ago.
I thought there was something in there,
It's that out there.
but I just realized that was just the
where you
Bahamas.
actually live and work there, and some of this stuff, the people may not even know that the part they made is gonna land on Mars.
All right, our final science question
Mahatma
today
Gandhi
is gonna come
arm.
from Ames Research
Oh, yes.
Center up at Moffett Field, California.
Oh,
Go ahead, Ames.
Thanks, Stephanie. Hello from Mountain View, where we're looking forward to.
I heard like a little dong.
What did Spirit and Opportunity teach you as far as vehicle
Dude, this is
design
just
and
like
science?
me trying to find a Knoll in Minecraft. Harold Bryan. Dude, that was a weird time. For some odd reason, we just decided to just say, back in like 2017, that, hey, yeah, we got 2 other entities to worry about in Minecraft. We got this one guy by the name of Knoll.
Some obvious things are the suspension system that Pan talked about. Ever
And
since Sojourner, actually,
another
we've used
guy
this 6-wheel suspension with the rocker bogie.
who goes by Entity 303. Canteneras.
The cameras, the
Si,
engineering cameras,
senor.
the navigation system, how we drive, is pretty much a
I don't want a golf cart. I want a 4-wheeler. I want ATV. Pure.
Every time we send one of these rovers, we only invent the things that are necessary for the new
American
So the
shit.
things that we had to invent from scratch really on this mission.
Oh, yo, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Drift.
Have landed where we are in Gale Crater by a long shot. So that's something we had to invent. This crazy but good landing system. And we have a power source that's
Oh, I got a long way to go. Maybe when it gets like about right here, that's where you'll start seeing it. It looks close because the optical illusions. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Nah, mate. Not even Tesla would.
That's a process. And to study a process, that means you have to look at different times of day, different seasons of the year. So remember how Spirit and Opportunity had to go to charge the solar. We don't have to do that. We can look at the chemistry that happens in the winter is just...
We can't get those rocket engines too close to the ground, because if we were to descend...
Oh no, don't tell me that the fucking radio is going batshit crazy again.
create this massive dust cloud. That dust cloud could then go and land on the rover. It could damage mechanisms and it could damage instruments. So the way we solve that problem is by using the Skycrane system.
20 meters above the surface, we have to lower the rover below us on a tether that's 21 feet long, and then gently deposit on its...
Yo, all that just came in the fucking color.
As the rover touches down and is now on the ground, the descent stage...
I'll just sit here and be bored.
You must cut the bridle immediately and fly the descent stage to a safe distance from the rover.
I'm not gonna start, I'm not gonna start, like, going full lockdown mode until this game really starts getting to me. Which... in all saying, it hasn't yet. Dude, how can it even thunder? The clouds are parting away. Shouldn't even be possible to thunder here. And this is bizarre. Like you fucking tell me that storms. Oh great. That caused another fucking blackout.
Start by giving us a quick overview of mission engineering.
Yo, what a bruh. What a bruh. What a bruh moment.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Now this, as you can see, this rover has a lot to do.
I'm going to be out for just a quick little bit.
There's a lot of challenges we've had.
I'm going to have the mouse facing this way. What time is it though?
Remarkably, you have to consider this
4:01. I'm going to have the camera facing this way.
Right now, as we're approaching Mars, the rover is doing this stuff. This rover is an interplanetary navigator. It's flying across space. It knows where it is. It's controlling its temperatures. It's keeping itself comfortable, cool, and not too hot in certain places, and not too warm in other places. And it's doing it all the time. It's the rover doing it. And guess what? This rover has to transform it.
I will be back.
From being an interplanetary space traveler to a hypersonic pilot that has to fly through the atmosphere and literally fly, and Anna will tell you more about this, fly for the first time ever. It's controlling itself and steering the way to Mars. And finally, it's going to be like a helicopter pilot as well as a parachutist. And once it's on the ground, this very rover has to somehow magically transform itself through a lot of work on our part to being a real rover, where it's doing, as you heard from Ashwin and Pan, others, a roving geologist, geochemist, water diviner, a remote imaging specialist, and an all-terrain vehicle. And so this is a very difficult set of things to do and integrate. And one of the things that I do, and this is not my first mission, but so I've got some experience putting all these pieces together. But this is by far the most complex thing we've ever done. It's taken us years and years, and as you've seen, it's taken a lot of people to do this kind of engineering, to put all these pieces together into a single working system. Literally, one of the biggest challenges we're facing right this instant is the steps that are going to happen next week. Getting onto the surface of Mars is obviously the most important thing right now. But once we get to the surface of Mars, before we can even start to do our science, we have to transition the vehicle from being an expert at flying through Mars and flying to Mars and doing all this entry, descent, landing stuff, to being a surface science vehicle. And so what we have to do is we have to change the software, and we're going to be doing that over the next few days, starting the middle of next week. And it turns out that's a really complicated job, and as well as maintain the communications and trying things out for the first time, this vehicle will have a lot of firsts. As you know, we really can't test this vehicle end to end, especially going all the way from cruise to the surface here on Earth. And so our first test will be right here and this weekend, and we're very excited about this test. But we've done the best we can to glue all these pieces together, and we think we've done that. And I hope these guys have done all their homework too. So
we hope we've done our homework also. We think we have. We double-checked it, looked at each of the problems, cross-referenced with our buddies who were working on it. The entry, descent, and landing team is tremendously talented, and we've really built on the experience of previous missions. Rob's, sort of groundbreaking work for Pathfinder and the MER, Spirit and Opportunities experiences. And we've rolled that all together with the challenge of landing the largest rover ever sent to another planet. And we've come up with this entry, descent, and landing system that you see in the video there. It has it's got lots of stuff going on, but a couple of real particularly novel elements to it, and I'll just spend a couple of moments for you with those elements. The first is that guided entry. Rob mentioned that for the first time we'll be steering our way through the Mars atmosphere, and that's exactly correct. Traditionally, when we show up to Mars, we don't know what the atmosphere will be like on the day that we're there. Mars's atmosphere is a little bit different than Earth. It ends up being that the number of molecules in the atmosphere can actually change from day to day or seasonally. And on a hot day, the atmosphere can be lower density, higher, taller, and more diffuse. And on a cold day, it can be more concentrated. And what that's meant in the past when we've gone to Mars is that we don't know where exactly we're going to land. In the previous missions, we had a footprint of uncertainty that was very, very large. 100 kilometers or more of uncertainty. Now it's hard to find places that are safe to land that are 100 kilometers long. And that's restricted our landing site selection process and restricted scientists from being free to go to a wider set of places. So Curiosity uses an aeroshell. This is a 1/15th scale model of her aeroshell. And an aeroshell similar to those that we've flown to Mars previously. But unlike our previous expeditions, we don't keep the mass centered in this aeroshell. We stick 168 kilograms, 168.5 kilograms of tungsten, very heavy metal, in weights on one side. 168 MER, Spirit, and Opportunity are about 173, if my memory serves me, kilograms. So one Spirit or Opportunity's rover's worth of weight hanging off the side. And what that does is when we come through the atmosphere, that weight makes us fly at a canted angle. That cant develops lift, and we steer that lift back and forth, side to side, to allow ourselves to range in on the target and take care of the uncertainties of the day of landing. The other piece that we do is, well, you saw it. It's that kind of wacky-looking sky crane maneuver at the end. And I'll leave talking about that later. I'm sure there'll be some questions. There typically seems to be several questions about that. But I'll just say that it really was the result of careful, long, reasoned thought with rooms full of very, very bright, experienced people. And although it looks crazy, it was really the least crazy of our options for getting a rover about the size of the surface of Mars. Steve?
My name's Steve Lee. Since this is a social media event, I'll mention I do Twitter a little bit, and my handle is Lee Curiosity, if anyone's interested in following along in the next few days and as we get into the mission. As Stephanie mentioned, I'm the Control Systems Manager for MSL, as well as involved in the surface operations.
Anyway, or a spider, very, very low to fix that stability problem. The problem that we ran into with that one is you tended to crush the propulsion system on the rocks, and so that's not good. And so as another team, actually Rob and I went off to do Spirit and Opportunity, and while we were building Spirit and Opportunity, some folks were working on this pallet idea for Curiosity. And that was not working out. And then we got a whole bunch of people back together and did a multi-day brainstorming session in a room. I think it was 14 of us in the end there, and brought other ideas that we'd thrown away previously, like what was called Rover on a Rope, back in. And we made some changes to the Rover on a Rope that made it look a little less crazy. Also, in the intervening time, we've done some work on MER that had helped us understand about steering. Miguel San Martin, the GNC chief engineer for Spirit and Opportunity and for MSL, had sharpened his chops about steering multi-body systems to get Spirit and Opportunity down. And so we were more brave in looking at this thing that had been tossed out in the past. And that allowed us to start down the road. There'd be some changes and some evolution until we got what we call today the Sky Crane. But it's lumps and trickles like any kind of creative process.
In fact, you asked what inspired it, but think about it. One of the best inspirations when things go wrong. If you remember, in 1999 we had 2 failures. Mars Climate Orbiter became a lander by accident. And the Mars Polar Lander, that's a fascinating story. Mars Polar Lander disappeared. We never found out what happened to it exactly. We have many theories, but we never got to the root cause of that. It inspired us to think that we were trying to do more and more, right? We were trying to make bigger landers. Mars sample return was considered a real possibility back then. We realized this is a really difficult problem. When we had these failures, we said, failure inspires you to think out of the box. What are all possible ways of doing it? At least if we're going to do something to go make a step ahead, let's think about all the possible ways of getting it right. And because maybe we're not that smart, maybe we don't really know how to do it. And so that's what inspired us to throw things upside down, look at solid rockets, liquid rockets, airbags, no airbags, partial inflatables, all these different things, these architectures, and just try them out in your head. And that's what we did. And that's where many of these ideas come from. So it's really, failure is actually one of the best ways to inspire one to think out of the box.
We're hoping that we don't get inspired on Sunday night.
Right.
All right, we've got a question holding on the line from the Kennedy Space Center. KSC, go ahead. KSC, do you read us? We'll come back to KSC. Let's go to another question here in the house.
Hi, this is on. Hi, I write a lot about art and science and the intersection of those. So continuing the thought track you were on about the things you picture in your head that then you try and actually make reality or test out, at what point does the visualization process come in? Do you sort of dream what you want it to look like, do a visualization, and then break it down? Do you go build it from the data? Can you talk about that part of the process?
What time is it right now?
So the proverbial back of the envelope.
It's 6:10 at the moment. We're still going to be pulling that all-nighter.
Paper, whiteboard, lots of whiteboard time. Whiteboard's fantastic.
8:26.
Eventually
Where's the
that
rover
goes
at?
into more structured stuff, right? For instance, in this room, building 158, building 158-201.
I'm hoping I saw something while I was gone. Take a look and see where it's at.
It's actually a fantastic experience. I've become familiar with some artists in the last, let's say, half decade, and when we compare our work experiences,
Yeah, the rover's way out there.
Tom Sachs, we talk about the fact that he
Yo, shit, as a matter of fact, it's way too out there. Shit. Better make that correction fast. Fuck, I knew it would take a long time, but shit. It took no time at all for that damn thing to...
somebody else comes up. Sometimes there would be two.
Let's go. Fucking passed by the spore pit.
It was an awesome one.
And stunningly unstructured at times, considering how structured we become. I mean, because you can't develop your system that way.
Deactivate.
You have to develop much more rigorous methodologies.
Once
to go.
you go
But
right.
when you're trying to invent something new or trying to come up with something new, you have to. That's how the brain works. We have to look at things from different angles, and we use the whiteboard, our pens, our brains, our voices to turn things around, look at it from different perspectives, and it's a visualization problem. And right now, in some cases, we're just using our hands as doing the model for us. And so that's a great period. It's an exciting time, but it doesn't last very long. It goes very quickly. That's right.
There it is.
Then
It's
you
over there.
formalize your design. You
Alrighty.
your formal
Let's
drawings,
go
you release, you
right
you have
that
formal
much.
documentation you have to do, and it becomes one of working at the next level of detail, which is much more distributed. Now those kind of brainstorming sessions don't fully stop.
I'll
because
go
once you
forward
get
about
the
like
big picture,
3
you still got
times.
millions of little things to worry about. Right. For example, how are you going to architect electronics to do all this stuff?
Because it has to be right over there.
To all these devices to become
GNC sensors that we
Let's go ahead and scan again.
Is part of that process ongoing. actually in some ways leads to why we have a lot of confidence in Sunday night. The fact that we have this openness, this idea of we always want to be able to go to the whiteboard and understand from first principles. We didn't allow ourselves to immediately get into details and come up with a simulation and think we've got it. We actually always had a little bit of humility and always wanted to be able to make sure we understand, can draw it out on the whiteboard, start with the fundamental equations, and have something that in the end,
this one's a
we
new
can
one.
understand. It doesn't have subtleties that will come back to bite us.
In that spirit of collaboration, we're going to go to another multi-center question. We're headed up to Ames now, and then we'll get back to Kennedy after that. Go ahead, Ames.
Hi, my name's Dr. Kiki, and I'm really excited to be here today. I've been trying to figure out what question to ask because I have 1,000 running through my head right now. But in the spirit of inspiration and being inspired by the things that you're learning,
Alright, let's stop there. No, wait, go right. Oh no, wait. Execute, deactivate.
Sending people to Mars. What do you think specifically from the
just
entry,
go
descent,
right.
and landing of Curiosity will inspire the systems that will be used in a human mission?
I'll take that
Alright,
briefly.
go forward twice.
And I'll be brief.
All the way.
Putting people on the surface of Mars presents some technical engineering challenges that we haven't totally figured out yet. So it would be difficult, for me at least, in my understanding of the universe, to see how
Just watch it go
bits
slowly.
and pieces of Sunday night show up in 10 years landing a human being. They may or they may not. What I would hope for Sunday night would be that the degree of freedom that we took in finding this solution, the creative leaps that we allowed ourselves, would encourage others to think that broadly and find solutions that are perhaps outside those that we're narrowly considering at this time.
We do gain specific knowledge from each flight, though, because in this particular flight we have instrumentation on our heat shield, and that heat shield is going to give us information
Check the
which allows us
time.
to validate simulations that we use.
Okay, it's 10:26 right now. Good, good.
Next time around. So each time we do one of these missions, we have a much better understanding of the engineering to do the next one, and really we do have a much better set of data to validate our computational simulations. So.
Rob did some work on humans to Mars. Rob, you got any ideas on that?
Well, about 2005, we brought much of the inter-descent landing community into one place for a wonderful set of meetings to kind of do that kind of brainstorming, to think about it. What are the challenges? Because a lot of us have a kind of a...
And so this video that we'll show you next, do you have that one, or? The next video. This video, this is actually showing you what the parachute flight like is in a supersonic environment. And so what we did for part of the development of the MSL parachute is we did subscale supersonic testing. And so that was an image of what the flight actually looks like. And the reason why it actually looks this way is because of the there's a supersonic bow shock in front of the parachute. If you show the next video, this will give you sort of the insight. You can't actually see this with the naked eye.
Deactivate, go right once.
This is what the flow field is that the parachute is actually seeing. And so you can see that there's this
We
effect
are
where you have
getting ever so
the air
closer.
sort of being sucked out of the parachute and pushed back into it, which causes it to collapse and reinflate like that. So part of understanding how the parachute performs on Mars is
Let's keep
understanding
going.
how it performs in a supersonic environment. And so we conducted a whole series of test programs to get a better understanding of what that flight environment is like. And at this point, we're really confident in what its aerodynamic performance is going to be like and what its structural performance is going to be.
I wouldn't be surprised as soon as I stuck my arm in there that someone just jumps out like a face hurter or something.
Because we have a slight change of plans. We have a special guest in the house, and he is running tight on time, so we're going to bring him up now. You know him from space. You know him from the Colbert Report. And now you know him as NASA's Associate Administrator for the Science Mission Directorate.
Yeah, we're heading
John
dead
Grutzfeld,
on.
everybody.
Going dead straight. I can already see like the vapors or whatever shooting out already.
Of course, when Stephen does that, there's a director with a sign that says "clap." You know, anyway, that was a lot of fun to be on the Colbert Report and address the Colbert Nation. You know, I have some really spectacular highlights in my life. Obviously, the space shuttle launches, the Hubble repairs, going to the Mir space station. I think I was just about as nervous before the Colbert Report as I was.
We're getting there.
Some of those other events, maybe not all. but I'm also very
We're
nervous
getting there.
this weekend. And I was sort of curious leading up to the event. And many of you know I'm a little bit famous for pulling out my phone or other smart device and update a minute. 2 days, 11 hours, 32 minutes, and 41 seconds.
I'm hearing a little clicking.
So I sort of keep track of that throughout the day, and it's incredibly exciting. I keep doing these checks. I look around at the team.
Fucking clicking?
And relatively comfortable. So we'll see when we get a little bit closer. But I want to thank all of you for your participation and being engaged. And from my perspective, I can take zero credit for anything on the Mars Science Laboratory and the Curiosity rover, other than being really excited about it and trying to share that.
Maybe that's like the
with
radiation
the rest of the
detector.
folks at NASA headquarters, the 18,000 NASA employees, the 40,000 NASA contractors, and several billion people on planet Earth. At
Yeah, it
least,
has to be a radiation detector,
hoping to
Geiger
excite
counter.
about this, because I think this is the science event, if not the human event, for space of the decade. And because it's going to start 2 years or more of exploration of Mars
10,
in a way that we've
9,
never been able to do before.
8,
Now, this is as close
7,
as we can get to sending
6,
a gal or a guy,
5,
geologist, astrobiologist,
4,
to the surface. So I'm really excited
3,
about that. Of course, there is that little
2,
detail of the 7 minutes of terror that you've
1,
been hearing about, and parachute dynamics, and
and deactivate. Alright.
76
Arm.
pyrotechnic miracles, and sequencers, and rockets
Execute.
gently setting down on the surface, which maybe
It's
you'll
gonna
get to in a
phase right through
minute.
it.
But your efforts, NASA Social, it's just great to use the technology, so much of which has come from the space program, to extend the public engagement. And so your excitement, your ability to share that excitement, is really crucial, so that we can have the maximum possible engagement.
Yeah,
which will then
we're getting
allow people
something.
to learn more about Mars, more about science, more about the world that we live on. So I'm pretty excited.
Oh,
about
we
that.
took the entire
I
damn
think I'm going to
thing?
be back Sunday. So store up your questions. I may be a little bit more nervous, a little bit more wound up by then.
Oh no, wait.
And, so enjoy the next
Yeah,
couple
it was
days.
that. It was radiation detector. So is it right now? Ooh, it's 12.
Planning was like when you're growing up. How do you land on the moon? Well, you land on the lander and you climb down a ladder,
coffee.
right? And you're
Mahatma Gandhi
on this
Mahatma
Mars
Gandhi.
architecture, realizing just
Yes,
all the
yes,
struggles
yes.
you've had getting robots to the
Mahatma
Mars.
Gandhi.
Now
I'm
you
gonna
gotta
bring
think about
that
something
rover
to land
back
something
now.
That's actually many times more. Rather something, imagine something that's
Don't worry, little
20
buddy.
times,
We're
30
where
times bigger.
we are
It
bringing
becomes a
you
real
home.
challenge, and what we sort of realize,
Actually,
and what's
wait.
happened since, is that this problem has been thought through a lot more by many people at Stanford, Georgia Tech, Caltech, other places all
Deactivate.
over thinking about this problem, and there's money being spent on research on how to slow
Now
down a
let's
big vehicle
execute
for
that,
ground
and
of land on
boom.
Mars.
We
and
picked
so
up
there's
the
great
spores.
technologies. There's supersonic retro propulsion. There's hypersonic.
I don't know where they went to.
There are
I'm to celebrate. Toilet. Yeah.
actually work on it, and they're doing a fantastic job.
And the other thing we're doing is we also need to characterize what is the environment going to be like for future human visitors. So we have instruments on board that help us understand that environment. We have a radiation detector that if we get a solar flare, can see what the spike is and exactly how much, and that would help future missions understand what kind of countermeasures have to be developed. We also have a little weather station, and that'll tell us local temperatures. The temperatures on Mars, of course, are very extreme, winds, those kinds of things.
Okay, we've gotten word that Kennedy is back on the line and standing by. So
Kennedy? Kennedy? I thought Kennedy was dead, bro.
Thanks for taking my question.
Oh, he don't sound like a Kennedy at all.
Everyone to be inspired and try and get even more people excited about all this space exploration. My question is actually about the Deep Space Network and the autonomy of the rover. With the demand of all the different science missions going on in our solar system and somewhat out, The Deep Space Network has a lot of attacks, I believe, that you don't have time to talk everything in close to real time. So what is the longest delay you can have in contact with the rover before it runs out of things to do? And
Delicious.
The longest time, well, it depends when we've got unloaded on board. Typically, we have a full soul's worth of activities. Plus, if we don't talk to it, it'll run out into the next day and do a few more activities before starting to twiddle its thumbs. And what it does is eventually,
We got like 195 credits.
I haven't heard from Earth.
I'm gonna do modules.
Hunker down and get myself into a safe mode because I don't know what's going on. It uses the communication windows. Remember now, it can still talk to these orbiters that fly overhead, both Odyssey and Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. But it's usually on the order of a few days before before it starts doing something on its own autonomously because it's worried about not getting contact. And that's when it starts taking things like trying different configurations of radios to see maybe it's not hearing from because it can't hear from me. So it tries to make contact with Earth on its own. But generally speaking, we'll have a couple days worth of activities pre-programmed. But every morning, in the coming weeks, our plan is to get those activities kick-started from here on Earth every sol. That answer the question?
But I'll add that there's tremendous communication opportunities. As Oscar mentioned earlier, every morning on Mars we'll radio up the set of instructions for that day, but it doesn't end there, of course, because we're taking all the science data imagery throughout the day, and that gets relayed back, and twice a day each orbiter has an opportunity to come over. There's AM passes and PM passes, and we get all that great science data and engineering data downlink. So we actually expect to have quite a bit of data to keep ourselves safe and planning the mission.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and toss it back to Glenn Research Center now. So Glenn, go ahead with your question.
Hi, my name is David Miller, and I'm a chemist here in Northeast Ohio. My daughter has been involved with Science Olympiad for the past 2 years in the egg drop event.
Science Olympian what?
And Mars Curiosity seems like a very expensive egg drop.
Science
I got two
Olympian.
questions. The first is, do you guys...
NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Oh, the Raiders starting to fuck over again.
The Russians are coming, not as adversaries, but as our partners in space exploration. That over the next few years, astronauts and cosmonauts will live and work side by side. First, aboard the space shuttle at Russia's Mir orbiting laboratory. Later,
The Russians are
International
coming.
Space Station scheduled to be in Earth
Bruh.
orbit by the end of the decade. Robert Clark, NASA's head of international affairs, thinks our former competitors have a lot to offer.
Russia, and before that the Soviet Union, had a world-class space program. The Russians have had a space station operating in space for a number of years. The current Mir has been operating for about 7 years now on orbit. As we all know, it was Yuri Gagarin.
I want to see what it does when the first forward
launched
command
into
goes
space.
out.
So I think that Russian achievements and capabilities are well known around the world.
I kind of like it that it's actually that we're controlling it this way.
There was the Apollo-Soyuz mission in 1975.
Because if I had to actually control it
There have been exchanges of data
myself and it was this slow,
satellite experiments.
I wouldn't have the feeling to do it.
Hampered efforts to do
My fingers would just straight up go numb.
3 or 4 years, and really within the past few months, that the political environment changed enough so that it became feasible to think about the possibility of U.S. and Russia combining their great talents and their great strength to try to do something together that would be several levels of magnitude greater than anything that had ever been attempted before.
Ah, shit. I go punto ma. Where'd my golf cart go? Oh, there it is. That fucking radio on here scares the shit out of me every time I go to it.
NASA astronauts will programs.
They are used to very long returns. Some of them have been over a year in space.
Drift. Off into space I go. Looks like I'm gonna have to be dealing with antenna bullshit for a while.
Float around in space. This is a program which is going to have very strong, definite benefits to the people back here on Earth.
People still have questions about combining the Russian and American space programs to such a large extent. Will Russian space facilities be up to the task? Will the Russian government remain stable and committed to cooperation? Clark says officials on both sides are working very hard to address those issues, and that it's vital we move ahead even while working on the
Useful and important member of the international community is not by taking a hands-off approach, not by standing back and waiting to see, but for us to be actively engaged in a hands-on fashion with Russia to show them that there are actual benefits and positive
Time to
results
find more
for the Russian
now.
people as a consequence of closer cooperation with the United States.
This has been The Space Story, brought to you by this station and NASA. For the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, I'm Bob Tebow.
I should
the Sol 1
be
activities are really dominated
perfectly
by,
aligned
in
with
some
it.
sense,
Nope,
kind of
I'm
boring
not.
activities. Checking out the rover, making sure it's healthy, deploying the antenna. On Sol 2, we deploy the remote sensing mast. So the high gain antenna, the rover looks kind of like this right now. Now you're used to seeing the rover like it is in that picture, with its eyes up and with an antenna deployed. In fact, we are stowed down here with the remote sensing mast down, and we're about to deploy this little antenna here. This allows us to talk directly to the Earth with enough gain that it can actually send data to us and be more easily talked to by us. Later, a day or so from now, we're then going to deploy the remote sensing mast so we can take these beautiful panoramas that we've all been waiting to see. But as for now, the first order of business is make sure that our communications to the Earth are healthy, and that's the prime activity for upcoming for today. But last night we got one other beautiful piece of information, and that is a HazCam image. Now, our
443
HazCams,
right
we saw
now.
them,
That this
last
all-nighter is
night
gonna
during
go just
EDL.
fine.
These are little cameras that point mostly at our wheels and at the ground in front of us, in the front and the back. And when we land, we're concerned that we're going to kick up some dust, right? We're
out
firing
of
rockets,
coffee.
and we might be
Well,
throwing up
that's
a
no
plume of dust.
problem.
And so we have little clear covers on them. And those are the
Gonna
images
take
that
the
we got
cup with us.
last night at landing. The very first things that we were clapping about in the control room. So if we could show the first graphic.
Coffee and then piss afterwards. I have no idea how he doesn't manage to spill. Oh! I thought I saw it out here too. Oh man.
HazCams. So there they are, kind of pointed at the ground.
Yeah.
They have a wide
Yeah,
field of view, kind of a
cover for
fisheye
you,
type
man.
lens. Okay, that's the cover deployer.
You're
right?
over, buddy. You ain't
And-
gonna be safe
and
for
there's
long.
and there are the cameras. So let's go to the next image.
Yeah, I want my boys
So
to peek through
last
your
night,
bathroom window.
After landing,
Yeah, don't worry about that.
fired all of our pyros, released these covers, took
Don't
these
you
HazCam
worry
images.
about
These are the
that.
things that came down just
Hey,
before 1
buddy.
a.m., right?
Everything,
Here on the West
everything.
Coast. Okay, so there is our
You're gonna
image.
go to
And
hell,
we're looking out
nah,
the back.
boy.
You can see the left rear wheel there. You can see a little bit of that hinge actually in the field of view there. You see the kind of looks like a spring there on the lower right side of the image. And then on the upper left is part of the
Well, I have
RTG,
to
right?
put
The
a
power
few more
source.
forward
That's one of the
commands
radiator
in.
fins that we're that we're seeing there on the side. And,
we saw an actual alien boy.
Atlo and Test said they never got a picture this good. They could never get the lighting quite right here on the Earth. And so this is a definitive control image now of how the rover is supposed to look here on Mars. And over on the side there, you're going to see over on the right side, you see some hills there.
Damn.
Over on the far edge there. And John Grotzer is going to show that later. Now, I personally have to say I really love these images because, you know, later we're going to get magnificent color panoramas and 3D images and magnificent things on Mars. But these...
I gotta quench my curiosity real quick. Alright, I've been here in a town by the name of Flora. I'm just gonna take a quick look at him. Max Preps. Oh no, wait. Bam 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 bear, big bear, big bear, bear, bear. Schools. I gotta put a capital letter in. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, da, ba, 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 ba. Bab, bab, bab. Alright, I just want to get that out of the way. What time is it? 6:37. What time is it up here?
So, what was the landing time?
5:52.
I will actually have to get that to you after this press conference. I don't
know. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do?
No. So we'll get it.
I'm just going to go to bed. All day. Hello. Goodbye.
Or are you from what you might consider to be the foothills?
It's 4:17.
John, do you want to talk about the dunes?
Sure. The dunes that you see there is a rather narrow strip.
I'm gonna have to click
you
deactivate
see
and
it
put in like
slicing there through the
3
southwest
more
part of the landing
forward
ellipse.
commands in.
And so from where we think we've landed to
As long as it's like close to home, you know, I'll be fine.
the basal topography, where we would like to access it.
Where's that UFO at? There it is. we saw Alien in the bathroom for the first time, and it was great. There's that boy. There he is. I think it was just like a little quick test, pick it up and then get out. At least we got it back safe. Our rover came back safe.
Then release curiosity, it pops off and flies off into another direction.
Pops off, flies off to another direction.
What kind of condition it's in?
Well, it flies away. It has actually a closed loop algorithm. Very rudimentary. It doesn't need to be very sophisticated because we want to crash it far away, 400 meters away, and we do tell it a heading.
I'm gonna go to one of the trees. Oh, they're fenced off.
Toward the north, and where it is, but we don't have telemetry that part of the mission, so we don't know. So the only way that we're gonna find out is through high rise.
Bruh, I can't. I only got one tree out here.
But we think it's gonna be hundreds of meters. It's designed to do that.
And this massive area.
Questions for Sarah. So you estimate that this is 6 minutes after entry, so about a minute before landing. That's after the heat shield popped off. Have you looked for that? Any sign of that in the image?
No, we haven't looked for that in.
Oh!
I don't think.
We found ourselves a ram, boys. We're gonna ride on the
We might be taking an image.
90s, the 90s.
6 days from now, and then another one 12 days from now. And in those images, we'll be able to look for where the other components landed.
And as a quick follow-up, what's your best estimate for the resolution of what we're seeing here with the parachute? How many centimeters per pixel?
33 centimeters per pixel.
Thanks.
I'm going to keep handing it down the row. I think there were a couple more.
By the way, I could just add one thing on that. The image we're trying to take as soon as possible is to help with the problem that Miguel was talking about, which is to localize the lander with respect to topographic features that we can see to get it registered onto a map to aid the dynamic solution that Miguel talked about.
I know I said I was gonna do like a 3-hour stream, but I think I feel as if I have covered enough. I'm gonna do another diagnostic thing though. Okay, I'm gonna do a diagnostic, and if there's a problem, which there isn't, I am going to end the stream after that. Yeah, we did an overnighter. We did a whole lot of stuff. We saw an alien in the bathroom. Fortunately, it ain't there now. So, yeah. This was another part of Signal Simulator. As always, thanks for coming by and watching. I will be back tomorrow.